Right, hey, what's up YouTube? I'm about to show you how I've made this sample and I'm going to break it down and I'm going to do a bit of drums at the end of it, because why not? Right, so that's the full loop, so now I'm just going to break it down and show you how I made it. First things first, the guitar. So I used the Yxnglion FM nylon guitar, wicked guitar, sorry, using the old Bosa preset. So I just used that, and it looks complicated, but let's get rid of this. You gotta make sure you're on a B minor or minor scale of some sort, kind of low, so you know you have those nice low 808s. Hold on, my thing's showing an A minor. Let me put on B minor. Right, so simple melody. You start at the root note, and you start at the root note 1 octave above, and then you kind of make a lot of use of these notes in the middle, not in the middle, but the ones where there's two next to each other. You got to make a lot of use of those notes, because that's how you get that nice dark feeling to it. So we've got this type of melody, and then obviously I've got the top line melody. So I'm just going to quickly delete this and show you how I made this melody. So I'll go to B. So go to B, start up here. So you've got like a little bit of a chord. Actually, I forgot to mention, you want to be in the 1/3 beat or 1/3 step, or like 1/6. So you have kind of triplet melodies. So yeah, I went into here and did a bit of meddling. Whoops, my bad. So I'm just making sure that I have the notes that are in between, they're kind of on the notes right next to each other, so it makes it give that dark tone. Repeat these same notes afterwards, so I'll put this. Yeah, something like that works. Then you just paste it over once, and then you paste it again. This time you hold shift and press the down arrows and put it down 5 semitones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to press Alt and R to randomize the velocities. Obviously we've got to do that to give it a nice kind of human feel, give it a little bit of a retro vibe. And then I'm just going to make a quick top line melody. So you've got this, you kind of just want to put a couple notes that kind of work, still using the two notes next to each other. So you might want to have one thing here that has a little bit of a roll like this, and you kind of fade it in or fade it out, something along those lines. Something like this, and you kind of want to turn the velocities down so they're not too prominent in the melody. And then you kind of want to copy it over, and make a few changes. So maybe I'll start this high, make it go lower. You want a bit of you want it to be the main melody to be repetitive, but you want to have that bit of variation that kind of catches the listener off by guard. So I'm going to remove these, and then I'm going to paste this pattern over again, so we have a 9-bar pattern. Oh whoops, I'm going to do that. Right, paste it over, and I'm going to get rid of these notes. So the first set doesn't have those, and yeah. So then you should be left with a nice melody. I just went back and got my melody back, just to make sure, just so I'm showing you with my melody. Right, so let's put the effects back on, and I'm going to show you the effects that I use one by one. I've got halftime in the project here, but I didn't actually use it. So this is what it sounds like without any effects. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to RC20, and I went to vinyl 3. As you can see, I turned the noise pretty much down, wobbles on, what's it on? It's about 12%, and everything else I just left it. So now it should sound like this. So it gives it a nice wobble. So then I added the reverb. I just went to the large hall, the venue, and turned down the dry, so it was mostly wet reverb. And then I went to the mixer knob and just turned it down a bit. So now you get that nice reverb. Last thing I did, I just put on a little EQ and, you know, cut out some of the lows, boosted a bit of mid, boosted a bit high. So that's what it sounds like. Right now, we're gonna do the next layer. So I used the Balkan Ethnic Orchestra, used the Gypsy Romantic Violin. So what I did, you know, I just used a low note and then I slid it with this orchestra specific instrument on the orchestra. It kind of slides upwards. So as you can see here, started at B and then went to A, but I still used a lot of the middle kind of notes. So it kind of works at a little bit of darkness. So this is the pattern I had. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you just make yourself a kind of melody, sounds nice, something like that. So yeah. So then what I did to did this reverb just turn back on? What? Yeah. So anyway, what I did a bit of parametric EQ, just regular EQ. Took out a lot of the lows and took out a bit of high. Then I put on RC20, pretty much the same settings as before. You know, vinyl free, changed the wobble a bit, put 0 noise on this one because we've already got a bit of noise on the first one. And pretty much the same reverb, except this one's dry instead of wet. So yeah. So that's what that sounds like. Next, I've got a flute. Used the Jabal flute, contact bank. You know, everyone knows what that is. Jabal flute by Embertone. And yeah, so I put this on a triplet as well, and just did these little kind of notes, little stabs. Oh, and then I led them into kind of higher notes. Then I brought it back down with a few stabs. So you know. So as you can see, you know, the second bar I kind of added a bit of variation, turned put these notes here, a couple semitones up, and obviously made sure the velocities were changing, stuff like that. So yeah, the effects on that's pretty much the same as everything else. We have a regular RC20, vinyl 3, a lot of wobble on to give it a nice strong vinyl effect. Parametric EQ, get rid of the lows and boost a bit of high mid frequencies. Reverb, pretty much the same as before. This one's wet, just turn it down over here. And the fruity delay, you know, we just added I think I added a 4-step delay. Turn the volume here down, so you know it's not as dry. It's got a lot of, you know, volume to it. And finally, I added some piano chords. These sound like lo-fi piano chords, and they're tucked kind of in the background. Yeah, so these are pretty high, but all I did was put on half time. So then, you know, change the sound to this, gives it that nice little half time effect. Parametric EQ, you know, got rid of the bass, and put a bit of reverb on it, obviously to give it a nice spaciness. And the last thing I did to tie up the sample together is just added a bass from a one-shot bass, just, you know, from a regular drum kit. So after all that's done, you know, we have the nice guitar melody with all the extra stuff, obviously with the bass. Right, so now I'm just going to quickly show you how I did the drums and made a nice beat with that one. So firstly I'll show you how I did the hi-hats. Oh, what did I just do? Yeah, so I've got on a triplet kind of hat, you know, 1/3 step, and just kind of, I'll show you what I did. So got the pen tool and just made a kind of it should kind of follow that type of pattern, you know. It's pretty much a triplet on it. It goes yeah, just like that, so something like that. And then you want to get rid of notes and sometimes add some notes, so I'm gonna get rid of one, something like that. And then obviously I'm gonna do a bit of brushing, make a couple rolls down here. I'm going to turn these down a bit, and you want to play a lot with the velocities, so you want to kind of play with the velocities, so you know it's not still, you know, it's more dynamic, so do that. And then I'll copy them over, get rid of this obviously, so you have that change up. And then I'll make a couple more change ups here, and yeah, that's pretty much what I'd do. Yeah, so I've got my pattern here. And what I did at the end, I did a switch up, so I pretty much just cut all the notes in half, or most of the notes in half. Still had the triplet pattern, some of the notes got cut in half. Changed a bit of the velocities, made the velocities go kind of, you know, downwards in a fade, and then fade back upwards, and then I did the same thing with the pan. So as you can see, I made them go from, you know, left to right, so they have that nice variety. So then I'm going to look at the effects that I used on the hi-hats. So the first thing I use is halftime. So it goes from this to this. So I just put it on one bar, you know, put the mix on like 8%. I could have put it a bit higher, but obviously it's up to you, personal preference. Then I added Effectrix. Let me turn this back down to 8%. Then I added Effectrix, you know, put it on 1/8 and added a few reverses, you know, just to give it a little nice effect. And then just a bit of delay, 4-step, half, put the volume on half on the input, and then, you know, turn it down a lot on the mix knob. And then that is how you make some really good hi-hats. After that, I'm going to show you how to do snares. So it's just an acoustic snare, which is just it's pretty much a snare. I use this instead of a clap, like this. And then on this one, on the third one or the fourth one, obviously you can choose whichever. You know, you have it hit here, and then maybe one bar after, you know, you kind of make a little kind of a delay effect. So you put the velocities down to go with it, and then you do something like this. I'll make it a bit closer. And then yeah, you just do that, copy it over. Pretty much that's it. Then all I have is a little crash, 808 crash. You know, it just hits at the start of each bar. Not each bar, the start of each pattern. And then I've got perks that kind of follow the hi-hat pattern but without any of the complicated rolls. So that's self-explanatory. And then we have the 808s, the fun part. So yeah, so you want simple 808s. You don't want nothing too complicated, you know, especially if you're trying to get placements. You know, you can't be doing all this. You know, you just have like a nice simple hits every, you know, 6. So yeah, you just have a very simple 808 pattern that follows the root notes of, you know, what we was doing. Follows the root notes of the guitar, obviously. Obviously, as you can see, I added a few rolls here. So I think what I did is just put it into 1/3 step, put the brush tool on. And you want to play with the velocities a lot as well with the 808s, especially on the rolls. So you kind of make it a bit funky. Something like that. And then I'll just make this end part again, just to kind of show you how I did it. You have your ones that are a bit bigger, then you have complete like rolls like this one over here, like this. As you can see, this is just a regular, you know, 1/4 step roll, 1/4 step, 4th beat, yeah, just a regular roll. And then yeah, that's about it. So you know, you have that going on. Obviously change the velocities, whatever. But yeah, you don't want anything too complicated. Even, you know, you still have a lot of space for the artist, even at the end of the bars when you have the rolls. You know, you just want to make sure there's plenty of space for the artist. And yeah, the kick, obviously the kick just follows 808. Some of the kicks you cut out, the 808 would be. So yeah, that's self-explanatory. But yeah, now I'm about to show you what the beat sounds like all together. And yeah.
Yxnglion, show them how you move.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, when you're thinking about making these type of beats, you want to have a nice dark vibe, plenty of layers to the melody, but you don't want to make it too overcomplicated. So, you know, obviously your artist can use it, things like that. But yeah, that's about it for the video. Let me know what other kind of videos you want, what type of beats you want me to make. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.